shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our next weather maker is this front that's crossing the Mississippi, but it's likely to bring us some rain this evening. Not a whole lot, but I'll show you the timeline.
Redistricting vote. Changes to the state's redistricting maps could become law today, while Democrats are pushing back as Republicans make swift moves in the legislature. And future of school tech. Wake County school leaders will discuss whether every student needs a laptop, how this could affect the district's youngest children. We have reporters live on some stories today, including the ones that I just mentioned. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on WRAL News. I'm Chris Levingood. We've got to talk about the next weather maker because you've got that cold front that's pushing through later today, Elizabeth. Talk about temperature-wise what we're looking at.
So ahead of the front, it's actually going to be nice and warm. Temperatures should be in the upper 70s. Behind the front, it'll be noticeably cooler. And you can see right here, there's no rain associated with the front currently, but we do have the potential for some showers. It's likely to be around dinner time. You can see it kind of picks up to 30% right around, say, 7 o'clock or so. So it could affect you if you're planning to stay after dark at the fair tonight. But other than that, I mean, all the way up until around 4 or 5 o'clock, we're going to be nice and sunny. Right now, it's sunny and cool with 45 degrees at the State Fair and around the Triangle area. It's 42 in Goldsboro, 46 in Southern Pines, and a chilly 37 up in Roxborough this morning. Our temperatures will be in the 40s this morning up until around 9 a.m., lunchtime 70, and then nice and mild this afternoon. I mean, we're close to 80 degrees later on. It's just going to be closer to 7 or 8 that we'll see those showers, and I'll show you how much we could see coming up.
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. Thank you. We are working to learn more about a crash on I-95 this morning. This happened in Cumberland County near Chickenfoot Road before 1 a.m. The WRAL Breaking News Tracker was there at the scene for the aftermath, and you can see a tractor trailer and a car were involved in the crash. And so we're reaching out to State Highway Patrol to learn whether anyone was injured and if anyone is facing charges. We're also trying to learn what caused a fire that shut down part of US 70 near Goldsboro overnight. Authorities in Wayne County say a grain dryer caught fire late last night, and the address listed is for the New Hope Milling Company. The sheriff's office and NCDOT shut down the westbound lane on US 70 while firefighters put out the flames, but no injuries have been reported. Raleigh police are investigating a case involving a slow-moving train hitting a vehicle near the state fairgrounds. And this happened late last night at the intersection of Hillsborough Street and Powell Drive. Now, it's not clear, though, if anyone was actually in the car, but we do know no injuries were reported. Today, changes to the state's congressional districts could become official. A new map state Republicans have drawn is moving quickly through the legislature. Let's go ahead and bring in Laura Levine. She's live outside the legislative building this morning. Laura, this map would give Republicans an additional advantage in the 2026 election.
Chris, good morning. North Carolina Republicans could vote as soon as today to finalize a new congressional map that aims to protect the GOP's slim majority in the House of Representatives. So here's a look at the current congressional map compared to what is being proposed right now. The new map would make 11 of the state's 14 congressional districts favor Republicans, up from 10 in the current map. The Senate gave initial approval to the districts Monday. After a final Senate vote today, the map is expected to head to the House for a series of votes, that is. So the changes are expected to oust one of the state's 3 black members of Congress by carving up an area of eastern North Carolina with a large black population. Republicans said they didn't use racial data to redraw the maps. Rather, they said they used political data. WRAL state government reporter Paul Space says Democrats are essentially powerless to stop the map from becoming law.
Governor Josh Stein is a Democrat, and he opposes this newly proposed map, which would likely dwindle the Democrats' influence in Washington, D.C. But he doesn't have the power to veto it. He has power to veto other things, but not election maps.
And so as this is playing out today, Democrats are expected to protest here at the state legislature. And right now they're claiming that lawmakers are really accusing the Republicans, legislators, of racism in this process. Of course, this is something that we will continue to follow throughout the day. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Should every student in Wake County get a school laptop? We'll get to that in a second, but I will tell you that we have covered the situation regarding the congressional map redistricting for years, and you can find that coverage on WRAL.com. School system leaders in Wake County will be talking about the situation regarding should every student get a laptop, even if they need one. Kelsey Coffey is live this morning at Wake County Public Schools headquarters. And Kelsey, specifically, the school board will discuss how well the technology helps the youngest students.
Yes, Chris, Wake County parents, your students have been using a school-issued laptop similar to this one since 2020. Today, school leaders will talk about changing that. All Wake County students were given laptops at the start of the pandemic. Wake Schools is like most districts in the state. They didn't give out laptops until COVID, and they used federal pandemic relief dollars to do it. Those funds ran out last year, causing the district to use money out of their facilities budget to pay for the technology. With mounting facility issues like broken HVAC, school leaders think the money for laptops could be used elsewhere.
The superintendent and the school board chair earlier this year said they're really not sure the school district's youngest students, think kindergartners and first graders, really need to have a laptop issued to them individually. They really want to save money where they can.
Today's meeting here at the Wake County Public School headquarters will just be a discussion. There's no vote. Any changes would be going into effect next school year. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, Evan Carey.
Today, City Council is discussing an ordinance that could make Raleigh a lot quieter. They're holding a second reading on a proposed noise ordinance that targets downtown, specifically Glenwood South. The ordinance would set a decibel limit based on location, time, even day of week. Council had a meeting last week to hear from business owners and neighbors, and now they could adopt the ordinance if they choose to do so. Today's reading is at 1 p.m. If you are 65 and up, you can get into the State Fair for free today. It is Senior Citizens Day. In fact, Bojangles biscuits and coffee will be available for you at Dorton Arena at 9 a.m. There will also be a program with music and comments from Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler at 10 a.m. And you can come and stop by the WRAL booth at the fair. Michelle McConaughey and Kent Smith will be there this morning. That is from 10:30 until 11:30. And then anchors Ashley Rowe and Gerald Owens will be there from 2 to 3 p.m. So be sure to stop by and say hello. We love getting to meet every single one of you. Your time is 4:36. The man charged in a hit and run that killed a man in Durham now has an immigration detainer. 30-year-old Wilmer Fuentes Mejia was at the center of a recent WRAL Investigates report. ICE says he is in the country illegally. A prosecutor said Fuentes Mejia was deported twice before. He's charged in the hit and run death of 61-year-old Richard Ferguson Jr. last month. That happened on Chalk Level Road. The Durham County Sheriff's Office must notify ICE before Mejia is released, and if he is released, he would need to be held for 48 additional hours under the immigration detainer. A Shaw University student died in a crash on I-40 in Durham. Bridget Basden ran on the tracks team, and the university says she left a lasting impact on all of the people who knew her, both on and off the track. Her teammates describe her as a sweet, a genuine, and kind and thoughtful person.
She had these beautiful, bright eyes, and I think to just be able to look at her and see the kindness that she holds, I mean, it radiates.
Durham police say Basden had pulled over to switch places with her sister Sunday morning. Police say the car was still partially in the road and the two were standing beside it. That's when they were hit. Her sister is expected to be okay. UNC was set to be paid $250,000 for that scrapped Hulu docuseries. Well, that's according to a contract obtained by WRAL. The contract also stated that Bill Belichick had the right to end his participation at any time. Shooting was scheduled to happen between August 11th and October 31st. That project has since been put on hold. The government shutdown has been going for almost 21 days with no end in sight. It's now tied for the second longest in history. Last night, senators rejected the House-passed funding bill for the 11th time. Democrats say they want a funding bill that addresses Medicaid cuts and expiring Obamacare subsidies. Republicans say they will not discuss that until Democrats pass their funding bill with no changes. A man in Georgia is accused of threatening to open fire at Atlanta Hartsfield International Airport. He's someone police say has mental challenges. Atlanta police released this surveillance video of 49-year-old Billy Joe Cagle parking outside the airport yesterday morning. He's then seen walking up to the TSA checkpoint that was crowded with travelers. Authorities say they were tipped off about Cagle by his own family.
Cartersville Police Department was alerted by the family of Mr. Cagle that he was streaming on social media, that he was headed to the airport, in their words, to shoot it up.
Less than 15 minutes after the tip, police arrested Cagle. Authorities say he was unarmed, but they believed he was headed to get an assault rifle and 27 rounds of ammo back in his truck. Cagle is charged with making terroristic threats and possession of a firearm by a felon. Today, State Attorney General Jeff Jackson is headed to Fayetteville to highlight the need for millions of dollars in disaster preparedness funds. Fayetteville Mayor Mitch Colvin will also be there. Not long ago, you may recall, FEMA canceled more than $200 million to protect North Carolina's infrastructure. One of the projects canceled was to replace 4 bridges and restore streams along Blunt Creeks. The goal for that is to prevent future flooding. Attorney General Jackson, his visit is set for 1:30 p.m. The LA Dodgers will face the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series. The Blue Jays beat the Mariners 4-3 to Game 7 of the American League Championship Series. The 3-run home run from George Springer is in the 7th inning. Well, it put him on top. And this is actually the first time the Blue Jays have made it to the World Series since 1993. The Dodgers will look to defend their championship starting in Toronto. Game 1 is this Friday at 8 p.m., and you can watch it on Fox 50. Your time is 4:40 this morning. Mental health support. The new facility coming to Garner that prioritizes resources and treatments, how it's changing the way we think about care. And conviction appeal. Sean Diddy Combs is pushing back against the decision in his federal trial. Why his team says he wasn't given a fair sentence. And you know what? A little bonus for you here. We'll give you a live look at the American Tobacco campus in Durham. Definitely feeling like a nice fall morning, at least I think so. But a cold front is moving in, just so you know. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show us the showers that could come with it.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44, and we have the top of the tower lit in blue this morning for clear skies. Real pretty out there. To start with, our temperatures are comfortably cool. It is a chilly 37 in Roxborough. Lots of 40 showing up on the map. 45 in Durham, 43 in Holly Springs, 46 in Garner and Cary. It's 45 in Goldsboro. So it's a little bit cooler than it was this time yesterday. It's also going to be breezier. We have a front that'll come through overnight tonight, and ahead of that front, it'll be breezy, especially later in the afternoon once we get into lunchtime. We're going to see some gusts up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. Exercising this morning, it feels cool. We don't hit 51 until around 9 a.m., so you probably, need a jacket, that sort of thing. But you may want your shorts and T-shirts for later this afternoon. It's going to be really warm ahead of the front, but we could see some showers overnight. I'll show you when. Chris?
We'll see your full forecast in just a bit, Elizabeth. Thank you. The makers of Tylenol are pushing back against a proposed change to its safety label. Kenvue said the FDA should not change the label to reflect possible connections between use during pregnancy and diagnoses of autism in children. The company says revisions are arbitrary and not legal. You may recall recently, President Donald Trump claimed that acetaminophen was linked to autism. Right now, Tylenol safety labels instruct people who are pregnant or breastfeeding to check with a doctor before use. Sean Diddy Combs is fighting back on the results in his federal prostitution case. His legal team filed an appeal to challenge his conviction and the 50-month sentence. Combs says the judge was wrong to weigh allegations tied to charges of which he was acquitted. That includes racketeering and sex trafficking claims. The sentence is longer than the 14 months his lawyers sought, but well below the 11 years prosecutors wanted. Tonight, you can give your thoughts on traffic changes coming to some Durham streets. The city of Durham is holding a public open house about that. That is from 5:30 to 7 o'clock tonight. There will be a first look at the two-way traffic design plans for Roxborough and Mangum streets. It'll focus on creating safer roads for drivers, walkers, and emergency vehicles. Traffic signals and signs will also be redesigned for the next traffic pattern next year. A major investment in mental health care is coming to Garner. This new WakeMed hospital will transform patient care for people experiencing a behavioral health crisis. You can see a rendering right here. WRAL health reporter Grace Haba explains the project's efforts to reframe the way we think about care.
Mental and physical health are often thought of and treated separately. But about 53 acres of land here in Garner will soon be transformed into a new health campus with the goal of changing that.
Every year, 1 in 4 people will need care for a mental health disorder.
WakeMed emergency departments see an average of 1,200 patients with mental health needs each month. Of them, about 400 require inpatient care. Right now, there are only enough beds for about half of them.
If someone showed up in the emergency room with a heart attack or a broken leg, and we said, hey, great, thanks for coming in, that'll be 2 weeks before you get to treatment, that's really unheard of. But that's what happens every single day for someone who's experiencing a mental health challenge.
This land near White Oak Crossing will help change that. with a new 150-bed mental health hospital connected to a 45-bed acute care hospital.
Our vision is to create somewhere that people are proud to go. When you show up for a physical health need, it looks the same as it does when you have a mental health need.
Construction is supported by the Courage to Confront Crisis campaign, spearheaded by the WakeMed Foundation.
It is the largest campaign that WakeMed has ever done.
More than $32 million of the $50 million goal has been raised so far, all of it from community donations.
Everybody has a story.
It's an achievement the foundation says highlights just how big the need is.
This is an issue that really does not discriminate across class lines. My dream is that we will give people a path to get the help that they need, and that hopefully that impacts our community in incredibly positive ways.
An official groundbreaking here in Garner is set for November 6th. Grace Haba, WRAL News.
Wake County is adding 12 more full-time EMS positions, and the goal is to meet the growing demands for service across the county. The new positions will be 7 paramedics and 5 EMTs. Those jobs were made possible in the budget commissioners passed over the summer. Applications are now open for the next Wake County EMS Academy in March. The ultimate homecoming experience at North Carolina Central University continues today in Durham. This morning, students will gather in the library bowl there for the 10:40 break. The break is a weekly tradition at the university for students to socialize. Tell you what, any activities really have today, I mean, not too bad. Today's kind of a copy and paste kind of situation there, Elizabeth, but there's that next weather maker that's on the way.
So, and that's at the front that's back to our west, crossing the Mississippi right now. Ahead of this front and behind the high pressure system, our winds shift today to southerly. It's going to be a bit breezy, but that also warms us up. We had temperatures in the low 70s yesterday. We're going to be closer to 80 degrees for today. So, you might want to send the kids out with their shorts and t-shirts, but they'll need a jacket this morning because it is still chilly. But warmer air rolls in today, and then this front moves through. Notice there's really no rain with that front right now. We check out Futurecast, and we'll just start things off in the afternoon. So we're going to be nice and sunny up until around 6 p.m., and that's when we begin to see some clouds. And you can see some showers back to the west, even around, say, the Triad back towards Charlotte. I mean, a sprinkle or two. This is 9 p.m. and then it rolls through here closer to midnight and just falls apart. So I don't think we're going to really see any measurable rain out of this. And it looks like it's going to be fairly late. So if you're headed to the fair, unless you're going to stay for the fireworks, you're not likely to get wet out there. Right now it is nice and clear. It's a beautiful start this morning. Our temperatures in the Triangle area currently, though, are 45, so it's chilly. We stay in the 40s all the way up until around 9 a.m. So again, it's going to be a warm afternoon, but it's a pretty chilly start out there. 37 in Roxborough. Elsewhere, temperatures are in the low to mid 40s, 47 in Apex, 43 Holly Springs, 46 in Garner, 42 over in Chapel Hill. Around town this afternoon, though, we warm into the upper 70s for Raleigh and Durham and 80 in Fayetteville, so that's going to be nice and mild this afternoon. Our winds really pick up once we get past lunchtime as that front gets closer to us. We'll see a southerly wind gusting to about 20 miles per hour. We still have some chilly mornings behind this system. Tomorrow morning will be warm at 52, but we're looking at low to mid 40s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So back to sweater weather, back to those jackets. Next 3 days at the State Fair, looking good. 78 today, 73 Wednesday, 70 on Thursday. It's just that we'll end up with some chilly mornings. So if you're going to be there early in the morning or late in the evening, a sweatshirt for it today. I would take along an umbrella if you're going to be there later in the evening, just to kind of cover the bases. I think most of us will end up staying dry. As a matter of fact, talking about dry, our next best chance of rain doesn't come until Sunday night into Monday. So it looks nice and dry for the fair.
Liking that forecast there, Elizabeth. Thank you. Your time is 4:51. The life of a skullgirl. A look at a special Swiftie-inspired Halloween display. And the Cowardly Lion has a new voice. And Eric Dane is playing a character with a personal connection. We have more entertainment news coming up.